So, greetings of peace and welcome, anyone who may be viewing this video or participating in this video, including my co host Yogi Sanjivana,
Hello.
and who may be viewing this video in the future. We're sending you lots of blessings and we hope that you find it very beneficial. My name is Anthea Alexander and I'm a wellness coach. And basically, I help people to manage their weight, to lose weight, gain weight, maintain weight, also to improve their energy levels and to achieve their health goals. So that's basically what I do, and I will let Sanji introduce himself. But in terms of our open conversations of a Friday night, we've been doing these for some months now. Our current topic is karma, and this is our part 4 of karma.
Part four.
So it's very, very involved, and we've taken quite a deep dive into karma. Certainly, I have been learning a lot more than I realized there was to karma. So it's been very interesting. However, I just wanted to remind people that this is a sacred and safe space, and anybody is welcome to join us
Mm.
and to join in with the discussion. It's lovely to have a conversation with Sanji. However, we also are very welcoming of anyone else who might like to join us in the future. And also, we welcome any feedback and suggestions about topics that you may like to discuss or hear more about. So please feel free to reach out to me directly or to Sanji directly. We love hearing from people and we really appreciate your feedback and comments.
Mm.
So I will hand it over to Sanji now for him to introduce himself before we start talking more about karma.
Thank you so much, Anthea. And
Sure.
hello, hello everybody. It's always very nice to be here. Uh, so yeah, I'm Sanji or Sanjivana. We do meditation teacher, and we do a lot of charity work and a lot of things trying to help people. So and Nancy and me, we are, but I was not able to do much this week. But we are involved in like health, natural health products, and yeah, it's a great thing. And yeah, these days I could not eat even, so I was actually taking those things like because I had like fever, yeah, and so I was taking like the protein shake and these kind of things, no, and to cut down the fever I was like warming it up and then using the herbal tea and the multivitamins. So yeah, it's very helpful, and even when you feel healthy also you feel like it's not like bloating you up. And but I could not do the exercise part this week. Yeah, but to like gather the energy you need and things like that. And when you have things like fever or something, you cannot eat a lot of other solid foods, so it's quite good, no. So yeah, so yeah, we are trying to Anthea had been in that for a long time, and she's actually my coach here. So and yeah, we are trying to introduce this to more and more people and try to give them something wholesome. And like we are trying to nourish the mind and our minds also. They say, Anthea, like even if something like you use it again, or like talk of it again, that also sharpens our mind. So yeah, so we learn from each thing, and then even things we forgot, we it reminds us again, it seems. And so it helps everybody, the sharing we do, each of us as well as everybody. And in some point, like maybe somebody will listen to this in 10 years maybe, and then still they will have value, because we are not like we are trying to leave something be wholesome, no? So, Anthea, would you like to say more about these products?
Sure. So I love what you're saying about leaving a legacy, Sanji. And I think that both of us, with our various areas that we work in and with our wellness coaching and with sharing the beautiful nutritional products that we are using and have had amazing results from. And also, we share the opportunity of earning extra income. So if anybody's interested in that, please feel free to contact either of us, and we can certainly give you some more information about that and have a chat to see if we're a fit to work with each other. So we're actually like wanting to build people up at all levels, holistically, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. So it's about our physical bodies with the nutritional products, mindfulness, about our mental health. It's about our wellness in terms of mindset as well. That's a big part of wellness coaching that we do. And it's also with our meditation that we sometimes demonstrate some meditation, and Sanji certainly teaches meditation and guides meditation, and I guide some meditation on a Monday evening. So we're really looking at health holistically. And yeah, with the ability to and the opportunity to earn extra income, which I'm doing and helping Sanji to do. Basically, that's about supporting us financially. And that's, I believe, an area of health and wellness as well, because it's part of our life, and it's part of something that we need to focus on with our life. And the stronger that we are financially, the more we can help other people.
Mhm.
So we're really, really big on leaving a legacy and helping people in all sorts of different ways. So, what I would love to do now is to just do a bit of a recap. So, with our parts 1, 2, and 3 of karma, discussing karma, and Sanji did warn me at during the first session that there are some topics that you can just keep talking on and on and on and on about. And I'm learning that about karma, and karma is one of those topics. So, what we did with the first session, we basically looked at the definition of karma, which is it translates literally into action. And it's about what goes around comes around, and the energy and the intentions and the actions that we put out into the world are what will come back to us. And often, as Sanji explained with some amazing examples, it can be like right down to the exact way that we put it out is how it will come back to us. And I had an example of that today, actually. I'll talk about it a little bit later. But the other thing that we looked at for our first session was we looked at basically Sanji shared a lot of stories to illustrate karma, and they were really stories about bad or negative karma. So then for our session, we decided that we would talk about wholesome karma or positive karma. So we did that. And then what we did last week, we started talking about the 12 laws of karma, and we got through the first 6, so the first half. And so this evening, we're planning to talk about the second 6 laws of karma, so laws 7 through to 12. And time permitting, we would also love to discuss some ways of attracting good karma into our lives. So, all right, having said all of that, what I would love to do is to share the next law of karma. So, the 7th law of karma, which is the law of connection, it talks about past, present, and future are all one. Where you are right now is the result of all previous actions. Where you will be tomorrow will also include actions from today and tomorrow. Everything is connected to everything. How you treat everyone is how, in turn, you will be treated. How interesting. Most often, one does not see the karmic link except in hindsight, yet it always exists. So that's really fascinating. And it's building upon what we talked about last week, because last week it was really resonating with me how connected we are and how closely connected everything is and I can't remember which law we talked about it under, but everything is connected, and that was really, really hitting home for me. So, what I would love to talk about, basically, for me, what's coming through is that time, although we have a sense of time and we work through a sense of time, like today's Friday, it's 22 past 8 in Melbourne, PM, and we use time to set appointments and to meet people, and there's church bells, and there's in for Muslim people, there's the call to prayer.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure that there's other ways that people mark time, and nature also has its own beautiful timing with the different seasons in different countries, and the different weather. So what's coming through to me is that, like, there actually is no time, and physics in quantum physics, they talk about there not being any time at all. Everything's happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really what's coming through for me. However, what um, what we do in the future, what we do in the past, what we're doing now, it all affects our karma. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a little bit mind blowing, but it
Mm-hmm.
makes sense to me. And also, I was wanting to share that basically in Islamic teachings, they talk about the sort of spiritual side of Islam is that things are being reset continuously, like every short period of time, maybe every second or every few seconds. There's like a continual reset, reset, reset.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is brand new, and that's what I'm being reminded of. So I'll hand it over to Sanji to share his insights and perhaps some examples as he feels guided. And over to you, Sanji.
Oh, thank you, Anthea. So, yeah, like Anthea mentioned about time. So, yeah, so there was a beautiful saying like, uh, how to say, every saint has a past, every villain has a future. So it says like, okay, saint has a past. It could be in the worst of scenarios, right? But now this person, he or she is a saint. Uh, so even a person who's like doing bad things, uh, uh, regardless of what they did in the past, they have a future. So if you take those two ends aside, this is all happening in the, like you mentioned, in the present. Now that's why they can turn things around. Uh, So likewise, what you say is so true because there are conceptual realities. There's ultimate realities. No? Concept, because those days they used to use the sun to see the time, right? Or like you said, like different traditions, different ways, no, different days. And some places they talk about a calendar with 13 months. Really? So so then they divide it and see, and then it makes up like 13 months. If you add the extra days of 30, 31 like that, you can make a whole bunch of like another whole month with that. So likewise, so the concepts change. They use the hourglass, right, in some time. Then now we have minutes and seconds and hours. Who knows what comes in the future, right? So distance, time, durations, all these, they change from time to time. Those days they use miles, now maybe kilometers, or before that they had like different ways of knowing. Or measuring. So the thing is, like in meditation also we try to bring people to the present moment. No, Anthea. So because in the present moment you can fix so many things. Uh, so in regarding to karma also, because you see people in depression, they are most related to like the past, and anxiety. These kind of things are future. Or what will happen tomorrow? What will happen with my life? What's going on? But still not didn't occur even. And some people are caught up. There's one person coming for like sessions. These within some period, like so he's so caught up in the past, and And some people, like you see elderly people, they always talk in past tense. In our time is so such. We used to do like this. Because now maybe they are weak in body and all, but still they're living in their past. It's not like our time, no? And those days we used to do as such. But in a like birth process also, and there, like they say about like three cycles of how it happens. For example, like they just say, I'll just mention it. So these also like topics themselves. So for example, like for there's ignorance involved, craving, clinging. Say us being human. In a past life, we took something that is not permanent as a permanent, because our life from small days it changes, right? Uh, from a tiny infant, or from the fetus in the womb, right? Or even a stage like you cannot, even a machine or anything cannot see even, no? Uh, so few cells, right? And here we are like grown adults. So it changes rapidly. Momentary wise also, like you mentioned, like evolving or like new, no, moments. So physically, mentally, both. And yeah, it is said like uh, in some way the life form we took it as a permanent thing. Others, if we knew it was not permanent, nobody would like it, right? Nobody would like a thing that is like, oh, this is not sure. That like, but we took it as something. It could be any life form, and not only that, we craved for it. Then there was clinging. That's why sometimes, like in some lower life forms, when they get so clingy, they cannot leave some place. They stay as like maybe entities even. They get stuck there. Even if you want to help them, they don't want to go. Sometimes they are so clingy towards their children, or property or anything like that. They just stay there. So then what happens is like, and then there's like tanha. Then there's like the energy that can bring new life, uh, and then new life happens. Then from there on, what happens is like bhava uh, uh, avidya, tanha, upadana, bhava. Then the consciousness of this birth. uh, then physicality and mentality also. So in the fetus, what happens? That's why different facial record things. All these things, like even it can happen in a wholesome way and an unwholesome way also. That's why some children they are born sometimes disabled. It happens inside, like you are making some artwork or something. First you draw the line up, then you slowly start building around it. Say you are like building a statue or something. Then the solid parts come. Then sometimes they make statues. I have seen like first covering with clay and then putting a cement layer around it to make it more solid. Like that, each new generation with the mother's energy and everything starts making. And when it's not enough to support it inside the mother's womb anymore, the child comes out and then starts like breathing by itself, no, the child. Then later, maybe mother's milk, and then later able to take like more and more solid foods. So then it starts like eating by itself for the child, no? So as it grows, more the quantity was, so more water intake, the breath, the food. So likewise, and just like now, we can see like when we're angry, it's one way. When you're happy, it's another. When you're peaceful, it's another way. So mentality is like the drawing, and around that, the physicality makes that like the statue of it. But this also changes, like we are talking now. All these movements and everything are with that. So then, but there's sensation involved. Huh? But what happens is there's again craving involved because of the pleasant sensations usually. Then there's clinging again. From that, the cycle continues again every moment. Uh, then it brings again that all factors of ignorance, uh, then craving, or formation, craving, clinging, and then the energy to be born again. So that's why people, if they just die, according to that, they are born. So we can see these patterns happening, and
Yeah.
it's happening now also.
Mm.
Uh, so when you talk about connection and time, uh, so it is as such like very momentarily. So we are, as you said, we are living in the present moment. The past is no more. The future has not arrived. But actually, so the past moment was at that time a present moment. But now it's part of the past. Now we are living in the present, and the future moment also will be a present moment when we reach there. Say, I have to do something in 1 week, then it will be a present moment, no? So, likewise, actually, we are living in the present moment. That's why through meditation and all, like, and mindfulness practices and everything. So, even the karma, these kind of things, like, we are actually living in the present. Uh, and even things like, I think we mentioned last time, it's actually more into like focusing. We can focus actually one thing only at one time.
Yeah.
We say like we do multiple tasks, but in the present moment, when we are say we are now looking and talking, hand movements, and we are seated, even others will fall, no, like a statue or doll or something, no, a mannequin or something, no. But still, we need that also to happen. Uh, and the other functions and everything, we are like bit aware of our surroundings. We listen, or we are talking, we are seeing. So though we think like these happen in different moments, this also happens in the present moment, actually one thing at a time. It happens so fast. We think like we are multitasking. Some people are better than the others, or they train themselves, because other people just take a little bit more time. But those people also who say they are multitasking, they also do one thing at a time. One time I saw in a faraway place, I also was going on like a small village road, and there were at least two people right in front of me. And one guy was like carrying like two huge buckets, rubber, the rubber extract from the
Yeah.
tree. These are
Mm.
big buckets, and he had one on his head also,
Okay.
and like three, no. And not only that, he was chewing like some tobacco thing, and he was smoking a cigar also.
Wow.
And they not only that, there was another guy. He was talking to him also. So I was a bit close. So I was like, wow, this guy is doing so many things at once, right? Because though that is like liquid. If he just pause, and the path is also not very like flat. Also, there are rocks, and so he has to look at the road, listen to what that person says. Then he's like flavoring what he's eating, or like chewing, even smoking, and then he has to keep the balance on his head. He has to watch the road and then answer. Maybe I don't know how he did, but no, something. No, but I heard him talking, no, and I was like thinking that. But when you see, he does one thing at a time.
Yeah.
It seems like a juggling act, and he's like doing all this stuff at once, right? But it like even he is doing no one thing at a time. So yeah, what you say is so true, Anthea. So in the long run, also the present moment, uh, and when you even like, but every moment also it's as such. And when you take one moment at a time with regard to karma, and also like action, mental actions, verbal actions, physical actions, all inclusive, right? Even
Mm.
wholesome, unwholesome, these also. They come into the state of like how to say the present moment. So present moment has so much power. That's why sometimes we feel so energized, powerful, at peace, even like decluttering, all these things. And since you're doing this karma and all, and there was one person who was going to do some bad deed, I was able to convince this person not to do it. So it might be tricky, but somehow or other, because they were in some different kind of background, so they have an infestation of rats. So what they do is, it seems they themselves like use dry ice and put it into those like the tunnels they have made. But the
Yeah.
crazy part is like when the dry ice is reacting with the air, it releases carbon dioxide.
Yeah.
Then all these animals, all they die. So it was kind of like a debating situation because they have this big problem. And then, like, we will talk about this later on. I'm just bringing her. I don't want to forget this. Uh, with the fever brain. So, and then I will bring it back. So, yeah. So, but still, karma is karma, no?
Yeah.
Because the intention to kill is there.
Yes.
So I had to explain, and I said, like, so first reaction was, I don't believe what you say. I said, sure, you don't have to believe me, and I'm not making things up, no? This is not a religious thing or anything, no, no. But so they asked, like, if somebody's coming to terminate you as per rats, because they can bring diseases, illness, so
Yes.
we should fight back. But actually, I said, I'm really sorry you are facing this, even in a war situation. But what to do? But even if you do it, you will have to pay the price for the karma. It's very unfortunate to be. It's very sad. People have to go through wars, especially the soldiers and all these people who are put into war. But
Yeah.
that is karma. We are lucky not to be in that position.
Yeah.
But though we say, like, or people might say, like, this is for the protection of country, what else to do, all these things, they accumulate karma. Then it's not a problem of the country. They themselves have to, like, face the situations.
Yeah. So, what I would like to do now is for you to tell me what the next law is on your list.
Uh-huh. It's the law of giving and hospitality.
Terrific.
Uh,
Okay. So, thanks for that. So, what I've got here is you get what you give. If you
uh-huh.
wish to live in a more giving world, then give more. If you would like to live in a more peaceful world, then assist in creating serenity for others.
Mhm.
So that really resonates with me. And
Uh-huh.
I've heard that the essence of that message before, that they say if you are, be the change that you want to see in the world. So, for example, it talks about a more peaceful world, a more giving world, then give more. So yeah, we can actually embody and demonstrate what we're wanting to the world, to what we're perhaps wanting to receive more in the world. So another example could be that if we're wanting to be more financially secure, or to have more financial abundance, we can give money as charity, or perhaps not even money. If you're looking for more warmth and for people to respond to you well, to smile at them, to talk to them, to be patient with them. So I've certainly heard about that one, and I have also experienced it myself, and I make a point of being friendly and kind to people on a daily basis. And I've also come up with a recent affirmation which ties into this law as well.
Mhm.
And that law is about, so my affirmation is about showing up for people and all of the creations in on the planet in a way that is with enthusiasm, ease, and grace. Because and that includes myself as well. So by doing that, that will mean that other people will show up for me with ease and grace and enthusiasm, which is what I'm really wanting at the moment.
Mhm.
So I will hand it over to you to share your wisdom and thoughts about this law of karma, please,
Yeah,
Sandy.
so true, Anthea. Like, so there was a song like like it was. I was just searching for it, and it was like
Right.
13 years ago. and it was called like one day. One day, it's like uh, it was kindness. It was called kindness boomerang.
Okay.
So it's like one thing leads to another. There's a little boy who's like falling down, and another person helps. Then this boy sees like a elderly lady trying to cross the road, and then the elderly lady helps another. So it's yeah, like it was called one day. I was just searching, and actually I found it. So one day, yeah. So and yeah, also. So, and then yeah, so likewise they say like what we gave, like you said, like is what we get today. So they, even in ancient many traditions, they say this is one thing like we will discuss later on also. So like the things you said, like practices to help, so this is called donation or giving. So it can be just like, it doesn't have to be always money. It could be
Yeah.
just your time, energy even. There are poor people who just offer their energy to help out. Huh? So it's not like always giving means like, oh, donation means money. Sometimes it can be a food donation, a cloth donation, maybe second hand even, for a person who doesn't even uh, have those kind of things even. But we clean it and do it very proper, because we do, that's at that time that is what we have. No, sometimes you see somebody and you quickly give even what you are having. No, okay, hey, you use this, later I can get one. No, so it could be water even. So yeah, these things, and this is like specifically the way you gave it, huh? And how the amounts, and then even the time. So that's why sometimes some things happen in the morning time, it seems, for us. Some things happen in the other times of the day. So yeah, and it happens in multiplication. They have mentioned these things also. For example, if we they just make like a count, not that we are expecting it, but it's good to know if we like feed an animal, we get like 100%, 100 times that benefit. It seems. So yeah, it's so easy to feed animals, no? So you can leave some food even for ants to eat, no? And then birds, squirrels, you name it, so many, no? And it's very nice to see them also, no? And even water for them in the hot seasons, no? Just to drink, we keep like everywhere water. They come and bathe in that and all. So it's very nice. You just need some old vessel or something, no? And you don't have to buy purchase. If it's nice for the garden and all, it's good, but you can just do something simple also, the for the requirement, and it doesn't cost you, no. So and then yeah, even if it's a person whom you know, like who's doing bad stuff, sometimes they say, oh, this person might go and drink alcohol with this money, or might take drugs. That's like this person's business. Uh, so we are not like they are to, if we can, that's fine, but this person maybe actually he's trying to get some food. Uh, so we are doing it. And the other thing is like, if I'm not telling this is good, but if they are not there, how can we even do good deeds, right? They should not be there, but you try to give like small amount to some rich person or something, there maybe you get a black eye or something afterwards. I'm not telling these people should be there, but luckily there's somebody there we can help. So like ancient, some people were grateful for the people who received, because of you I can do this good act. So I'm also grateful for you. Not that you have to be in this state, but since you are the recipient of this, I can give. So, and there are so many sayings like the giver keeps on giving. Yeah, until the recipient doesn't need anymore. Or always keep your hands open, they say. Uh, it's like always ready to give. Because we cannot take none of, yeah, we be careful and not, but we cannot take this to the next life or anything, right? So you be careful and all, not that we waste things. But if somebody comes, the opportunity comes, because they say sometimes in ancient times, when you have some stuff, there's nobody to give. Uh, uh, and when you see somebody, you don't have a thing to give. That's
Yeah.
also awkward, right? So yeah, like even some a pleasant smile. So we wonder like sometimes why people are so gross or like, uh, but we this is what we like. Why like what we put out, right? It's like bouncing back onto us. Even if you scold something, we have to expect like the feed, like the backlash, right? We cannot just like put out and say, okay, like so, now swallow it down your throat or something. No, they will also respond, right? Even in their silence. So, but it these also happen in multiplication, maybe to the next life also. Then you suddenly like, what did I even do wrong? Well, everybody's like so like rude and no, it seems right. So this also has a connection. And even to that person who was trying to kill all those rats, this person had to go through a lot of operations in and through their life. It was very hard life. So I just say, don't please don't feel bad. But actually, in ancient time, they say like people who go through these kind of illnesses, even like this is because we harmed other beings. So I'm just worried about you, like uh, so if you do it now also, it can happen in your next lives also, even if you believe it or not. So hopefully this person would not do. We'll talk about how to then what to do. No, you just live with millions of rats or something. No, no. So yeah. So yes, Anthea, like yeah, when you talk about that giving and hospitality, how we treat people, even parents, like you took care of your mom. These also, uh, I remember like yeah, there was like uh, a Muslim person, and one elderly person said like he was going fast. It seems no, and then he had because they are friends, and asked like, "Where are you going?" And he had told, I found I got a treasure," and they were like, "Really? Like a treasure?" And this is not said in a bad way, yeah. And then he said like, then where did they asked like details because people are curious now. He said my mother got sick. Then the others like were shocked. No, they asked like, how can that be a treasure? No, he said like I cannot control what she's getting sick, but now I can take care of her. Yeah. So it's not my doing, no, but she's now I can take care of her. So I feel like yeah, it's a treasure for me to take care of my own mother. So he was going to find something, so bring some medicines or something like that. So, but he was very happy to take care of his mother. So likewise, these things like what we do, actually the biggest benefit comes not that we are in seek of that, but the biggest benefit comes to the person who does it. It's like we light a candle or a lamp to like say in a dark area, so other people also can see, right? So remove the darkness. But actually, the biggest concentration of light is around that candle or the lamp, right? So actually, the person who does it, either they know it or not, they benefit the most. But they don't maybe even know it or even doesn't expect even. But actually, it happens. Yeah, it's very interesting. Yes, Cynthia.
Yeah, that's a really beautiful analogy. And yeah, so with Islamic teachings, it really aligns with what you've been talking about in terms of, for example, during Ramadan, when people are fasting, when you feed a person who's fasting, you get so many benefits. So the person who actually gives is the one who's really receiving so much. And I love that story about the young man who was so almost excited about the opportunity of taking care of his mother.
Mhm.
First of all, because she probably took care of him,
Mhm.
most of his life, but he had the opportunity to give back to her. And they also talk about in Islam that paradise is at the feet of your mother. So
Uh-huh.
so that if you take care of your parents and your mother, then that may help you to get to paradise or heaven. So yeah, I can really relate to that story, and yeah, I was very honoured to take care of my mother,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, so basically, I can relate to those stories, and they're really, really, it's really beautiful, and it's very, very moving and touching that because we may give a lot of ourselves without thinking twice about it, but we are receiving so much by giving of ourselves. So that's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
beautiful. The law of here and now.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, we're up to same one. That's good. The law of here and now. If you dwell on the past, then that is where you will live.
Mhm.
Embracing the present is about experiencing the moment, which is best accomplished through focusing on taste, smell, sight, sound, and touch. Our senses allow us to experience the now, the only true existence. So, this really links in with the law of connection.
Connection. No, we spoke a little bit about this, no?
We did, yeah. So, however, yeah, it's about living in the present
Mm.
and as much as possible. And if you find yourself, and this is sort of going into some practices to attract wholesome karma or to
Mhm.
perhaps remedy what's going on for us at a particular time. But I know that if I start getting anxious and thinking about the future too much, or the opposite, start thinking about the past too much and maybe getting a little bit depressed or sad,
Mhm.
that by sitting still and just focusing on what's going on for me now and doing some mindfulness, some reflection, some meditation, um, even like some Tai Chi or something that really focuses me on what's going on right now. It always helps me to feel a lot better. Mm.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I'll hand it over to you.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I think we covered many of things here. So just I'll
Yeah,
say like a small thing, Anthea. This is a
sure.
great place. Like for example, say somebody they did something happen in the past,
Okay.
but they said like don't repent or repent in the sense like don't keep on thinking like oh my gosh I did this. Yeah, like we know we did, but
Mm.
that brings another pattern of new karma uh, because of remorse. Remorse is a hindrance of the mind, a negative factor. So,
Yes.
so okay, like it happened, but like every saint has a past, right? So from there on, when they understand, they start doing the opposite. So they can like from there on, it happened. But so like we were talking about a saint, and he was a murderer, and but then later he became like an enlightened being, and then there was like a mother and a child suffering in at birth, and then he made a vow like from the time I uh, ever since I stopped violence, with that vow or like what that the truthfulness of that made his mother and the child be secure. And then there was a like now until now they use that verse. It's like a few lines verse to like bless pregnant mothers. So what happens like when they are pregnant they bless with that, like in the middle part also, and when they're close to deliver the child also they bless with that. So
Lovely.
then the people are so confused, how can he of all, no, it was from the time he stopped it, not from the that past.
Yeah,
From the time he stopped it. So it was said like no, it was from the time he stopped and from until now. Oh,
yeah.
so, like that, people can do, they can change. And even in the deeper sense, and there, like when we attain or like in states of mind, this also happens in the present. So, the idea is like slowly remove yourself from the unwholesome
Mm.
and then slowly cultivate the wholesome. That also we build our mind. That's why in meditation was like jhana, yeah, like concentration levels. These also they it's making it more and more solid, like water you can heat it and it can burn, but naturally it's cool but yet not solid. But if you let it cool, then what happens? It becomes more solid. You can make it like a stepping stone. Then if you let it more cool, you can make it like a platform before it melts. And people even make like igloos and houses and stay in there, right? And it's warm inside, it says. Not freezing cold. It's not like you live in a deep freezer, no? So the ice has that effect. Uh, so it burns, no? Like they say, frostbite and all. So likewise, like this can be turned to the opposite. So there's excess concentration, like then deeper concentration levels. But this also might melt. So you go higher and using that as platform or elevation, you go like level up. So that's why if a person really wants, they can end up in enlightenment even. Like it won't crash again. The water won't evaporate or dissolve no more. So all those things happen in the present moment.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very fascinating. So we can clear a lot of things like the chakras, and then the energies. All happens in the present moment. Whatever happened in the past, that's why we can try start fixing things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. It's here and now. It's very powerful.
Very, very powerful. That's definitely a message that's coming through from our conversation so far. Okay, the next law that I've got is the law of significance and inspiration. So every
Okay.
you haven't got that one?
Yeah, yeah. It's there at number two.
Okay.
It's okay.
Every contribution you make or don't make will, for good or bad, positive or negative, affect the world. Realizing this, one should work to find ways to contribute positively. Sharing this gift stimulates good karma. Wow. So that's really about, for me, yeah. So everything we do, and it's about connection once again, and how closely connected we all are to Mother Nature, to each other, to the animals, to the plants, to the air, to the water, and everything that we do or don't do. This law is talking about will affect the world. So that's really, really very, very powerful. And also, in terms of us sharing ways or action steps that we can take to attract good karma, it's talking about sharing this gift stimulates good karma. So, yeah, and as you were saying about before, us sharing information, it also helps to stimulate good karma. So even by us having this discussion and recording it and sharing it with other people, hopefully that will attract good karma
Okay.
our way. I'll hand it over to you for
Uh-huh.
insights.
Yeah, like in ancient these scriptures and all, like people think they don't have anything to do with it, or they say the governments did or the corporations did, but actually our thinking process even affects everything around. So they have showed like time durations where they were having like long lifespans, and then little by little how it deteriorates. So they show like cycles of this inner cycle as well as the outer cycle. So like, but it takes quite a lot of time. But when you do the calculation or the math, like we are in a distraction cycle now, because it seems like everything goes going down here. So that's why in some places it's mentioned as Kali Yuga. Maybe you have heard the term, no? It's not like, but there's like a lot of chaos, war, all these things, then famine and these things or disease, they'll follow. So then then what happens is cycle comes like, and then everything deteriorates into a level, and then again the humans especially they realize, oh, because we were killing, this happened. Then generations and generations would pass, but it's like slowly even the age, there are some countries and even in war zones, like the average has dropped to like 20s now. Average lifespan of a person, all average, in that area or that country maybe. It had now reduced to that amount because they're losing many lives, no? From any side, I mean. So then So, but like usually there's a pattern like every 100 years one reduces. So that's why like we those days we used to hear people like having 100 or 90s, but now we don't, right? Maximum 80 or lesser 70, 60, no? So when you do the math, like it will reduce to a big degree, maybe in another 6,000 years. So it's not very long. It will, and it comes to a stage like where it reduces and our lifespan even becomes very small. That's why children and all now they know much more than us when we were kids. But there's a downside though, so I'm not telling like so if a fruit is getting ripe quickly, sometimes it falls down from the tree also quickly. It is sad, but it's true. These coconuts and all when they become like mature, uh, sometimes they don't have the taste or the flavor even.
Yeah.
Or even mangoes or these any kind of nice fruits, but sometimes they ripe than what is so before the required time.
Yeah.
So then you don't get the taste, the essence, and no the nutrition. So likewise, we see like the crops are like the nutrition and everything. That's why we go to like these products. No, we have to take it extra even now. Uh,
That's right.
so even the climates, no, all these things, no extremes, the natural disasters, lot of things happen. So then later at some point there'll be more and more disasters, and they say like sometime they'll realize, oh, this happened because we are killing each other. So for generations there won't be any talking like this or nothing. These were like well explained. Uh, so but there were time spans like huge blocks of it. For example, when they start killing animals, a huge chunk of it reduced from the humankind. And in some places they say like before the humans killed the first animals, huh, we just had as illnesses as hungry and just using to need having the need to use the washroom or the toilet. That's all we had, nothing of that. But soon as humans killed the first animal, we started getting all these sicknesses.
Mhm.
So it is said there, I'm not making things up, but not on only in one tradition, many places. So, but now we see like it's slowly like uh, decreasing, and it's going down because we see like even children having cancer, like high maybe blood sugar. These were like things like some we were rarely heard when we were kids, but now we hear like children also have, right? So like everything is like, but at later some point, there will be more and more distraction. But later at some point, they will realize, oh, we should not. This will happen for generations, and then slowly the lifespan will increase. Then they think we should not steal, we should not cheat, we should not lie, and we should not take intoxicant. Then it says like it goes to the highest. Then again, when it goes highest, like it's long lifespans. I don't know if we tell here, like people will even believe, but really. But you see, like some people, they want to live a good life. So actually, sometimes their lifespan is more, right? When they live healthy without like taking alcohol, like drinking themselves off or taking drugs. Uh, I'm not telling a little bit sip and here and there, no, like people are alcoholic, right? Uh,
Yeah.
so likewise, killings, no, stealing, sexual misconduct, no, lying. So these are like the main five in many places it was said. And then they do this, and then later on at some point they again forget because they think like we are forever, we have so much life. Then slowly it started making the next cycle that decreases, but it goes for thousands and thousands of years. So that's why sometimes we have this some remains of some old high tech civilizations and all. They went to their peak and then down, then the peak and the down. So, but after the inner cycles, what happens? There's a bigger cycle from outside also that happens. So, yeah. So even the beings they can even make worlds even if they get together just by the thought process. So I'll just tell, I don't know whether people will believe or not, but these are in the ancient, I'm not making things up, no? So they say at some
Yeah.
point our universe will get destroyed. So some places it says like 7 times. This is not the inner cycle. Inner cycle is war, yeah, from weaponry, fa- uh, war, sickness, and famine. Huh? Like 7, 7, and 1 inner cycles, and within that, like 8 cycles of these, or eight, yeah, oh, no, I can't remember, like 84, I think. Like cycles of that make one big cycle. So that becomes like 1 time with fire, 7 times with fire, 7 times with water, and 1 time with wind. Yeah. So actually, there was a person who checked his past lives, and he saw that he was in a higher realm, and he saw our world getting destroyed. I went. It was not me. I went and met this person, and I asked, "What did you see?" He could recollect his past. So he said, "I was like looking down on our earth, and suddenly it seems like, soil, when it's there, dry soil, and then some water comes from all sides and starts melting it or dissolving it away." He said everything just dissolved. I saw, which like really relates to, because this was a genuine person who meditates and with strong minds, and he could recollect his past lives, no? And then, and like in ancient texts, they say like people who are born in this, they're like the fourth jhana concentration. This affects like it even destroys the human world, the animal kingdom, human world, even the heavens, and first jhana, second jhana, up to third jhana. Then the ones in the fourth jhana, Rome, that place they are born, they recollect is where did we come from. Uh, then when this happened, then remember, like they have powerful minds, right?
Yeah.
But it's still a worldly scenario. It says like, oh, we were born in this world. Then they all together wish, this is not one, this is like thousands of them.
Okay.
Oh, we wish like we had our world back. Then the minute particles in the atmosphere, with the thought process and all, start gathering, it seems. And then suddenly like massive rains happen, and then they started like getting like more solidified, and then again the world starts appearing, it seems. This is
Yes.
one side. There are many theories, many places, many things.
Mhm.
So I'm just telling like the power of the mind.
Yes.
You want to meet towards destruction and recreation also.
Yeah.
So though people think like, oh, we have nothing to do with it, there's a lot of things to do with it.
Yeah.
So that's why even like loving kindness or good gestures, affirmations, good thoughts, yeah, even good words and everything, they all count.
Yeah.
That's why they say walk on the earth also without like hurting it. Yeah, so actually it really counts.
Mm.
It's so much things like without knowing we do. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you for sharing
Uh-huh.
that amazing knowledge with us. That's really very thought provoking and yeah, really, really, really fascinating. Okay, so our next law
Mhm.
is I've got number 10, the
Uh-huh.
law of patience and reward.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Karma is sometimes instantaneous and sometimes is not. One must steadfastly adhere to the karmic principles of good intent, good thoughts, good emotions, and good actions.
Mhm.
One wavers in their energy output, intent, thoughts, emotions, actions. It takes longer for karma to manifest. Okay, so this is basically giving us some advice, I think, and
Uh-huh.
tips about how to attract good karma. So it's about adhering to good intent, principles of good intent, good thoughts, good emotions, and good actions
Mhm.
in order to attract good karma. Yeah, so that's really fascinating. And we have touched upon this a little bit
Mhm.
in that karma can we can experience karma very quickly through our actions, our intent, our thoughts, our emotions. However, it can be that it may happen at a later date, or it may happen for people who believe in reincarnation. It might happen in another lifetime.
Mhm.
So I'll hand it over to you
Uh-huh.
to share your insights about
Yeah,
that.
today also I saw like a thing about leadership, Anthea.
Okay.
Yeah, so this relate. I was thinking that side also.
Yep.
Uh, so before that, I heard like diamonds are born in high pressure situations.
Mm.
Sometimes the other pebbles and stones they get crushed, but the
Yes.
diamond it's so strong. Even
Mm.
it can like cut when it's like processed. It can cut even any kind of surfaces. No, it's very
Sure.
strong. So and likewise, like and I saw like today there was this something for motivation, and then it says like leaders and all these people, they are born in high tense situations, and they did something about it, even endured it, uh, and then if it was very easy for them, nothing would have happened.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't happen like that. So many people you say like who in whichever scenario, whichever place or traditions, you name it. Like you see, most of them went through a lot of things like that. Who uh, the truckload of dung, no, right?
Yes.
So they went through like I think tons and tons and tons and tons. So even people through experience, no. So and then another friend of ours, like this person mentioned, like that in some countries they have these big bulls or cows.
Yes.
They are called bisons.
Yes. Yes.
Uh, so these like they have kind of adaptability for the storms.
Yes.
But guess what? They run towards the storm. It seems
Ah.
the other animals they run away from the storm. So the storm keeps following them. But these guys put their head down, and they do have a furry coat and all, and they are strong. But still, like anything can happen, right?
Sure.
They move towards the storm. It seems. Then what happens if the storm passes them quickly? So and so it's like we're brilliant. Not that we have to put ourselves always into trouble. And then you see like little birds or some animals, like when it's raining hard, it's kind of sad because sometimes we cannot do anything, no? And it's
Yeah.
on the tiny bird or something on a tree, or we cannot go and put an umbrella up, no? So
No.
it weathers the storm.
Yeah.
But what happens is like for the next storm, it's more prepared.
Yeah.
So likewise, these actions may be from the past, may be unwholesome, painful, all these things, or it could be a learning experience. Uh, Like that person I told you, like he said, like I get always bitter lemons,
Mm.
but now I know how to make lemonade. So likewise, uh, these people adapt and evolve through these things of hardship because it could be from the present actions or even the past actions of karma. Even without them doing any harm in this life, something can collapse on them, no?
Yes.
So, but if they endure these situations, or even like they said, like if you have patience, you can bear the rewards of it. You know? Even if you want to have physical fitness or and anything, you have to endure a lot of things, right? And you have to have patience also.
Yeah, that's right.
When like doing exercises and all. Like,
Yeah, you're learning.
yeah, and you have to. It doesn't suddenly pop up, no, like a bodybuilder overnight. No, you do one time and then poof. No, no, right? And you have to keep on doing it, right? So that needs patience, endurance, no, and even the muscles and all, yeah, they also have to endure, no.
They do.
So just like for that, my mind, the life, all these things also, but that makes a person even more stronger, and later they can help like the people who come out of difficult situations.
That's right.
So they have a story to share, learning experience to share, like you and many other some other people shared, no?
Mm.
And then now you are a coach and you are helping others. So that is a no living truth, no, or a
It is.
fact.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
very
yeah.
much. Mm. Okay, thank you for your wisdom and
So now we just share, no.
I actually I like it. I like making you laugh a little bit because when I say wisdom and insights and things like that, you start laughing, and I think it's almost as if you're getting a little bit nervous, but you do have a lot uh, teasing you a little bit. Okay, I believe this is the last one,
Uh-huh.
so let's finish it off.
Sure, sure.
And so the law of change. And I
Actually.
think I said before that it was number 10, the law of patience and reward. I believe it was actually number 11.
Uh-huh.
So the last one, the law of change. History absolutely repeats itself until you choose to stop the repetition.
Mm-hmm.
Requires recognizing the loop and taking action to break it to create a new and better future. And I think we've already touched about
Mm-hmm.
on this to an extent when you were talking before about the generations and generations and thousands of years of deterioration before humanity realizes that they need to make a change.
Mm-hmm.
And then once they make a change to the sort of detrimental habits of, for example, killing each other or killing animals,
Mm-hmm.
then everything improves. So that's I believe we've covered that pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so it's a very powerful law because it's saying that we can actually choose for things to change.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about that a little bit earlier as well. And it requires self-awareness, like when we were talking about being what the change you want to see in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And with, for example, unwholesome karma, we can, if we're self-aware enough and we've got support from our friends and mentors around us,
Mm-hmm.
we can, say, right, that's it, and then stop the unwholesome karma, and then gradually, gradually, gradually build the wholesome karma.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll hand it over to you
Uh-huh.
to share your thoughts with us as well.
So ancient wisdom says, and there, sabbe sankara anicca, like all formations are bound to be for to change. Anicca. Nicca is permanency. Anicca is impermanent. So even if somebody says this or not, it happens. That's why we have every seconds passing, minutes passing, days, weeks, months, years. The sun comes up and then the sun comes down, no? And the days, there's a day. That's why we suddenly come to Friday again, right? And then like what? Like already Friday, no? Oh, I could not put the post or something. No? And then yeah, that's why it's no, and that's why we can move and do so many things. Otherwise, we stuck somewhere, right? Uh, so and sabbe sankara. But the thing is, like, we cannot keep something. That's the sad part. Even present sensations, our health, all these things, even life itself, it is how it is. That's why we want to leave something good. Uh, so yeah, like. The people talk about people who like murderers and all, no, serial killers and all, but
Mm,
or like people who did horrible things in history, no. So they are recognized by something they did very bad, but
yeah,
not that even if they nobody knows, we can leave something that is wholesome and that imprint stays. You know, even now, Anthea, it says like because of these good people, they are trying. The damage is reduced,
okay,
so it's like holding, like it's going down, but still it's holding on because these all these good people are trying, even
yeah,
sharing like those wholesome thoughts and all these things. That's why
yeah,
others it will suddenly collapse
yeah,
very fast. So
mm,
the other thing is like yeah, everything. So change really helps in many ways. That's why a child grows, a tree grows. and then these things happen. So yeah, that's why a child is growing up. The tree grows up, river flows, days pass. And so in a way, the sad part is like even good things we cannot keep. Even if it's a nice taste, you cannot keep it forever. No, even what you see here, and that's why you need it again and again. You want to do. That's why good things also we had to keep on doing. You cannot do
Yeah.
one. I did my good deed. Okay, done. Not like
Mm.
that, right?
No.
So but there's another good thing we can understand that some people and they do all these bad things because they think they are kind of like immortal.
Okay.
They say like people if they knew that life is not forever, many people would not do these bad things, even for oneself or the other. All these lawsuits, crimes. If they just knew fighting each other, all these things, like pushing somebody down and trying to climb up the ladders, all these things, if they knew, uh, or fighting for property, all these things, or all these divorces and all these problems, if they knew this is not forever, they would cherish life. It's the opposite. They won't feel
Yeah.
bad and like, oh, now, like, no, not like that. They will value their life and try to do the very best they can. But many people, they
Yeah.
exist like life is forever. That's why you see like some
Yeah.
people in power and all, they don't know at what time their collapse also happens. Now, until then, they try to do all the bad things, right? Uh, but suddenly, out of nowhere, something happens. Or they get some illness or something. No, it happens. Uh, so, I'm not telling it's good, but this is how it is, right? But we can take this as a good opportunity also. For example, if we
Okay.
know this, the law of ever change, we can realize okay this is so valuable, we can do something, this all, we are doing all these movements and everything, but in another way that's why we have to eat again, we have to drink again, we have to breathe again, we
Yeah.
have to clean ourselves again and again and again. So that also doesn't seem to have an end, but the opposite, like getting out of your negatives. So for example, like that's why people can come out of suicidal, being suicidal, addictions, depression, anxiety, or anything, because it is not like you have this solid rock and you are just given some like a small pin and asked to crack it up. It is not nothing like that. It's associated with the mind. Even physicality crumbles. No, these big houses, mansions, palaces, they can collapse with a natural disaster or some attack or something like that also. But over the time also they crumble, right? It's not like they are for like thousands and thousands, maybe some uh, uh, the foundations and all, but the real structures are no more, right? Or the glitter and glamour is no
Yes.
more now, right? So,
Mm.
but as people like in spiritual field, or like if you are trying to fix our minds and all the emotions, these kind of things, this process of change actually is benefiting us.
Okay.
It's not like we have to move mountains or rocks. We think as such, but this mountain is mind made, and the ever changing process actually removes it for us. So we just have to know and like ride the wave, and then what we can do is we can come out of that also. And that's why if something even happened in the past, people can be good people, reach
Yes.
any good wholesome goal they reach or destination. So people can correct themselves, do so many things. Even children
Yeah.
can study all these things. People can cure themselves physically and mentally because of this change.
Yes.
So action based change is a wonderful thing.
Mm.
Uh, so it helps, like we see that when we see that there's a downside also, uh, because even if you make something very nice and all, yet like it changes, no?
Yeah.
You try to keep it up, which is super fine. And but the other things, the negatives, you can easily get out of them. And this actually, the worldly law actually helps us
Okay.
because it doesn't stay, no?
Mm.
Unless we try
Mm.
to keep it up. Just like the good things, the bad things, or the habits, or something like that, we have to keep it up going, or the thinking process. Uh, So, but we can, the opposite is if you know how it's working, you can easily come out of it also. That's why we can change the mind through meditation practices and all. Remove the hindrances or let the hindrances go. So, the change we can use for our benefit.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Really, really powerful.
Mm.
All right. Well, we might end it or wrap it up at that point because we've had a really amazing discussion for an hour and
Mhm.
a half. And we have got through our 12 laws of karma. So well done. Uh,
And they just will do like you mentioned couple of times, just like what we can do, just a very small in a small way because there should be action also. No, like just we'll just mention in a small way. Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Okay.
Please.
All right. So we'll talk a little bit just to wrap it up.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, our what we can do in terms of attracting good karma. So what I have what I have learned from our conversations and our beautiful laws is that so having good intent, so good intentions are really important. So be aware of your intentions, good thoughts, good emotions, and good actions. And I think an awareness of karma is also really important. Doesn't have to be an in-depth awareness, but an awareness that what we put out will come back to us. So if we want good things to come back to us, let's put out beautiful things. And also, really important what you said just before in terms of change uh, about I've lost it, but that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing, it will come back to me. Meditation. Meditation is really, really important. And living in the here and now, living in the present as much as possible. They're all practices that I would encourage people, and from my experience in my life to date, uh, that's a way that most of these things are a way of life that I make the intention to live every day. Uh, I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I certainly have the intention to follow these types of principles. So I'll hand it over to you, Sandy, to add your thoughts to
Yeah,
our
just
list of
in brief,
action steps.
Anthea, like there are like
Sure.
some places 10 things mentioned, but don't worry, I won't explain this. So first
Okay.
example is like donation. It could
Yes.
be physically, verbally, mentally, even a
Yes.
good thought, or we can give our energy, time, space, like we are doing now. Huh?
Yes.
So we are using our words, actions, and all, even after these, no? And then even the good intentions, like you mentioned. So it can be money or any kind of food, water, some medicines, anything for animals, humans, anything. So actually, it benefits us like what we get is what we give. Huh? So in the long run, no, that's how it happens. And the second thing is like virtues. For example, not killing, not stealing, no cheating or lying, intoxication. These are like like bare like essentials for
Yes.
anybody. So they say they don't even need a specific religion. Good human beings like naturally do these five, it seems. Yeah.
Yes.
So some then later, even in some religions, like they incorporated this because they were so good. For example, Buddha also said like these five have been there for like thousands of years. So you all also practice these because it was there. He didn't have to add anything, and it's good, right? So for oneself, and so this is actually, and
Yes.
yeah, like the reason people have long life and they don't face like huge illnesses. So when they are doing these kind
Okay.
of good things, so there are some people with lot of wealth or food or anything, but they cannot even have a bite. So that's because like they had done. So even things like fishing and all, people might look bad upon it, but it is not very wholesome. Huh? Because you need the animal and you like put it on a hook and then put it to another, even if it's like fun. Yeah, but still it's like harmful, and if you're killing it, that's worse. So I told those people, like in ancient times, they used to burn like patch of land to cultivate, but they always kept because they know there are animals there, no? And this is like for part of a forest because they had those days plenty of property. So they would burn it, and from that charred things and the soil, they would cultivate. Huh? So they what they would do is like they would keep opening in one side, and they would go like three cycles around that property. Or this is like 1 acre or half acre or something, no? And they would scream out and tell like, we are trying to cultivate, so please go out of this land, we don't want to harm you. They know some animals will die, but they have no intention. So I told like, I'm not asking you to be infested with rats, but at least don't have the intention of killing them. Have
Yeah.
a way of actually like chasing them away. uh, and if you can like get a person who does this and tell, don't ask that person wants to kill, because you have to do something about it, but you can remove the places where they stay, or you can
Yeah.
keep a opening some place like they can run to the forest or some place,
Yeah.
and then you don't let places like they can stay. You
Yeah.
keep it clean and like out of rubble and all these things.
Mm.
Yeah, and secure your premises or house and all for them to not to come into the. So
Yes.
by that, that doesn't mean you have to like jump into like a pit of fire or something with those troubles, no? But you can avoid them, or at least have the intention that I don't want to harm these animals. No, I'm just because of I might get sick, but I don't want to kill you, right? These animals, even a mosquito, I don't want to kill it, but I like put the nets and things, and I ensure and I don't open the doors or at that specific time. And I used to have, I made, we catch the mosquito and put it out.
Mm.
So it seems first that it's easy just to give it a whack, but later you feel like, come on, no, like it's disgusting. And it's better, like, even if you came to harm me, I don't care. Like, I don't want to kill you, no? I don't want to harm you. So I catch you by a net and I put you outside. Uh,
Mm.
then I be careful, like to close the windows early. Uh, in the when the so there are precautions, no, and you can do avoid. And
Yes.
third one is meditation. So even
Okay.
if people want to read, meditation is the reason like people get wisdom, it seems, Anthea.
Okay.
So even if they have no clue of a religion or anything, spirituality, meditation is the practice. Like you see some people doing wrong investments, or they get a inheritance from the family, but they don't know how to handle it, or they do stupid things with the money, or lottery when they win a big amount, they waste it all. This is because of wisdom is not there. So third thing is meditation. Then taking care of your elders. It could be anybody, like could be parents or any elders of the society by age, through like qualities. It could be a young person, but still they are high in their qualities. So that gives them a level of as an elder. Uh, if it's an elderly person but still doing like silly things or foolish thing, that make them a minor actually, according to spirituality. Uh,
Yeah.
Not the age, but you can respect them according to their age even.
Yeah.
So or some people, because they already do good virtue, or they are wise, or they could anyhow like to see something, and it could be religious people anyhow, in society based or any place like their teachers, parents, siblings, also the elder siblings. So likewise, then what, that is also a wholesome thing. And doing duties, maybe at your home or like even workplace, that is also a good karma factor. If you do an honest job, but if you are stealing there, still it breaks the virtues, right? People slowly snatch something, so they ask to do the work but they do little, or they try to avoid. That is also kind of theft. actually. But you don't have to like overwork yourself, but you do what is required in a very nice way. That is
Yeah.
also good karma, it says. Or if you go to a specific place, you clean it up or help around. That is also like doing something. Huh? They call it duty, or like chores. So that is also good karma. Even if people train their children to do something, that is also good karma for the child. If husband takes care of the wife take care of the husband, that is also a good thing, it seems. Yeah. So it goes along. If somebody takes care of sick person, that is also good. So everything counts, no? And then, like we are talking these good things, real things, reality. That is also good karma, it seems. And
Yeah.
listening to these things also,
Yes.
without this for all this fake stuff and all these crazy things that is not wholesome. Uh,
Yes.
so that is all. And the 10th one is like, if you can, how to say, fix your view. View means because of the view, thinking changes. Because of the thinking, verbal actions change. And when that happens, the physical actions change. Then the livelihood change. Then from that, like the effort you put either for the right side or the good bad side, that changes. Then the mindfulness changes. And then the mind frame changes. So, but if you like upgrade your right view, then you see in a different way. Like we were mentioning about change or karma or these kind of things. Then we start understanding more. Even in a situation, no, like before, if you used to fight or argue, now you step aside and you look into the situation. That brings like better view of the situation. That is also good karma. So these kind of 10 things they are mentioned in some places, but there are so many other kriya yoga, all these things, charity work. They call like dham, the yeah, dham, like you can offer your energy like that, or do like volunteering. So at least they say do one good deed per day. And sometimes when everything doesn't work, that stands up more than all of the things that happen, stands out or stands high and above. So if he can do just one good deed, doesn't matter how big or small it is, that is also good karma. And if you can do it with a happy mind, with intelligence, and nobody has to push you, even you, should I do it, should I not, should I do it? No, you just jump to the opportunity. Oh, I'll do it. No, I'll help you. That is like very powerful karma, it seems. So we can do so many things just from a little bit of water, even, or just a smile, or a pleasant word. Yeah, even a thought. Okay, yeah.
That's really beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And what's really coming through to me is that we are very individually, we're very powerful, and our individual actions really can affect the world and, all the beings on the world, the plants, the animals, the karma that comes back to us. Everything is interconnected. And although we may feel like we don't have control over anything, what we do, and by choosing, for example, to do one good deed a day, makes an enormous difference. So we must remember how powerful we are. So, thank you so much, Sanji, for the amazing discussions that we've had, conversations we've had over the past 4 weeks. I sound like I'm ending something, but I'm just wrapping up our discussion about karma. It's been really, really fascinating. I've learned a, a, a tremendous amount, and it's basically coming through to me as like a universal law. So it's not something that's specific to one faith.
Mhm.
It's a universal law that affects all. It's like laws of physics that affect everybody on the planet. So it's something that I think it's really important to be mindful of. And yeah,
Mhm.
quite been really, really fascinating. So thank you very much for your time and your effort and your
Yours also, no?
inputs.
Uh-huh.
And I really, thank
Uh-huh.
you.
Yeah, yeah.
And I really pray that this is a benefit for to everybody who listens to it at whatever timing they listen to it.
So thank you so much, Anthea. And yeah, it's wonderful. You select these topics, no, and they are fabulous. Yeah. So and yeah, and just to like say like a last bit of things to like make it so in ancient times, people who were much wiser, no, than us all. So they used to write down. So journaling would be perfect. And in their even the last moments, they would ask somebody to read them to them, not cry around them. So this was called the Book of Merits actually. So they would write. So if we can journal, and another key thing is please teach the young ones. That will make a whole big difference. So by not only just saying you do that, no, by example. Uh, take your child and let's do this. No, you go and give it with it in present. But because it doesn't work like that, no. So if you show by example, they really learn, and they had to be taught also, no. So as final words, like let's keep that also in mind. You can journal, and then you can look back and wow, I have done so many, like for a month 30 already. And if you add meditation and all, or like keeping 5 hours or something, wow, my goodness, there's so many aspects covered. So you can do without like using any money or anything. So many good things you can be done, and these are the things that actually come back to you or anybody. So thank you so much, Anthea. And yeah, we had, and we can go on with this topic also. But thank you so much, and thank you for everybody who will be watching this later on also at some point, at some time. And wish you all the very best. And let's accumulate wholesome karma always, our actions. Thank you so much, and good night to you also, Anthea. Have a good rest.
Good night. Thank